Alright guys, today's video is all about 5 super important things you have to pay attention to in the Oklahoma real estate contract to ensure you as the buyer are doing everything possible to protect you and the purchase of the home. What you don't want to do is not pay attention to these 5 items. We're talking about livable square footage, we're talking about real property, not personal property, we're talking about acceptance, we're talking about closing, and we're talking about funding and possession. These 5 items, super important. You're going to want to stick around and enjoy this video all the way through. Full disclosure, this video is not legal advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm a real estate licensee, and this video does not create a broker relationship unless we have a written broker relationship with the group of agents that I work with, the eXp Realty, and I and you. This video does not create a broker relationship. This video is for informational purposes only to help buyers understand how important it is to pay attention when purchasing a home in the state of Oklahoma and the Oklahoma real estate contract. All right guys, hope that makes sense. Enjoy this video. All right guys, if you enjoy this video, at the end of it, please give it a thumbs up so that other buyers who are looking at homes in the Oklahoma City metro area know it's a good video to pay attention to. And guys, the group of agents that I work with, eXp Realty and I, we're getting calls, texts, and emails weekly from consumers just like you who are moving to the Oklahoma City metro area, and we absolutely love helping them with their purchase and their sale of their property in the Oklahoma City metro area. If that's something we can help you with, the group of agents that I work with, eXp Realty and I, we're absolutely here to earn your business, and we got your back when you're relocated to, moving to, and move within the Oklahoma City metro area. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email at the number popping up below. All right guys, let's get in today's video. Okay, there's 2 spots that are super important that cover the livable square footage. It's the Oklahoma Real Estate Brokers and the Real Estate Commission and the Oklahoma Bar Association put the livable square footage in there twice on the real estate contract because it's very important. During your inspections, investigation, and reviews, as a buyer, that is where you want to verify, I just had it here, verify that the livable square footage is correct during the inspections, investigations, and reviews. The Real Estate Commission put in here, buyers shall not rely on any quoted square footage and shall have the right to measure the property during the inspections, investigations, and reviews. So verify that square footage. Guys, I've seen houses as far off as over 600 square feet before. I mean, I've been doing these deals for 15 years, over 600 personal deals and a part of 1,400 deals. A 600 square foot difference is huge. It's huge, guys. You got to pay attention to that. And then also you want to pay attention to, if it comes up after the inspections, investigation, and reviews, you want to pay attention to that during the inspections, investigation, reviews, because right here, the Real Estate Commission, the brokers, the Oklahoma Bar Association put it in here. Also, buyer cannot cancel the contract by expiration of buyer's right to cancel the contract after expiration of the time periods in the investigations, inspection, reviews. The clause that we just looked at above, any square footage calculation of the dwelling, including but not limited to the appraisal, the survey, indicating more or less than quoted, shall not relieve the buyer of the obligation to close the transaction. That's why it's super important that a buyer verifies the livable square footage on a home when making a purchase of a home in the state of Oklahoma, because of the way the Real Estate Commission has this contract put together, guys. Is that not super important? Is that not something that you weren't aware of, that you're like, oh my gosh, I did not know that? Thumbs up if that's something super important, guys. You got to verify the livable square footage during the investigation, inspections, or reviews. If it comes up later and becomes a problem later, the acreage or the square footage does not relieve the buyer of their obligation to close the transaction. All right, thumbs up if that's important. Let's go now. Item number 2, guys, this is a real property contract. It is not a personal property contract, regardless of the condition of the property, regardless of as is, where is, anything like that. This is a real property contract. Verify with an attorney. This isn't legal advice, and this does not create a broker relationship. A real property contract means you're buying the real property. All the personal property until closing is still the seller's, unless you make changes to the real estate contract. And the real estate contract spells out exactly what is considered personal, what is considered real property. And here are all the items that they spell out here in clause 4. So all these things come with the property unless it's excluded on clause 4 Bravo Bravo. And if it's some personal property that you want, unless you write it on clause 4 alpha, it's personal property and it's not included in the real property contract. Does that make sense? You're buying the real property. You're buying all of these things that are listed as part of the real property. You are not getting any personal property. You're not getting things that are considered personal property, tractors. You're not getting shelving that's not attached. You're not getting door hangers that aren't attached. You're not getting furniture that's not attached. You know, the landscaping items too, they come into play sometimes. So you really want to write in, if you want to keep it, you want to write in that you want to keep the landscaping. Like if there's a birdhouse, if there's a cement picnic table, you want to write that in into additional inclusions so there's no question whatsoever whether it's staying or not. Thumbs up if that makes sense. Item number 3, acceptance, guys. Acceptance. You have the time period to do investigations, inspections, and reviews. If investigations, inspection, and reviews are not done, then you are, failure of the buyer to complete one of the following within the time periods of the investigations, inspections, or reviews paragraph shall constitute acceptance of the property regardless of the condition. So guys, this is a legal document. It's a serious document. You have to pay attention to all of this. That's what this video is all about. Does it create a broker relationship? And it's not considered legal advice. It's an informational video. So you have to perform inspection, investigation, reviews. You have to deliver a list on a TRR form of items to be treated, repaired, or replaced, or cancel the contract. You have to do these 3 things within the time period of the investigation, inspections, or reviews paragraph. And if you do not, if you fail to complete those things, then you're constituting an acceptance of the property regardless of its conditions, guys. This is super important stuff that you have to pay attention to when buying property in the state of Oklahoma as a buyer. Pay attention to these clauses. Words matter. Like the OAR attorney, he always says on his podcast, these words matter, guys. You've got to pay attention to this. And this video is to help educate you as a buyer, inform you as a buyer. Does it create a broker relationship? Does not constitute legal advice. I'm not an attorney. If you'd like to hire the agents that I work with, HB Realty and I, absolutely give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. We'd love to earn your business and help you walk through these contracts on your purchase. But if you're already under contract, you got to talk to your agent. Full disclosure. Okay, guys. Item number 4. When you close on a property in Oklahoma, it's yours. It is yours. That's why the final walkthrough, that's why the repair walkthrough and the final walkthrough are super, super important. When you close on a property, 4th item you got to pay attention to when buying a home in the state of Oklahoma is when you take possession. Buyer, upon accepting title or transfer of possession of the property, shall be deemed to have accepted the property in its then condition. No warranties expressed or implied by the sellers, brokers, and or their associated licensees with reference to the condition of the property shall be deemed to survive closing. So as a buyer, when you do your inspections, when you turn in that TRR form, when you do the repair walkthrough, when you do the final walkthrough, you got to make sure everything's agreed upon, because when the buyer accepts title or transfer of possession of the property, that shall be deemed to have accepted the property in its then condition. So buyer beware. Make sure everything is agreed to and fulfilled when buying a property in the state of Oklahoma. This isn't Walmart. You can't take the house back and get a refund for it, okay? Can't do that, guys. That's why real estate contracts are very large transactions, and you have to pay attention to all the details, especially as a buyer in the state of Oklahoma. Thumbs up if that makes sense. Thumbs up if that was something you weren't aware of. You got to do your repair walkthrough. You got to do your final walkthrough, because when you close, when you take possession, it's yours, guys. It is now your property. There's no return policy on a property. All right, guys. Number 5, the 5th big important thing you got to pay attention to as a buyer when you're buying a property in the state of Oklahoma, it's a closing, funding, and possession state. So you go close on the property, okay? And then the funding and the possession happen simultaneously. They happen at the same time. So the title company gives the seller the check, and the title company gives you the keys to the property. Closing and funding happen at the exact same time. There's no moving in early without any liabilities. There's no putting the U-Haul, in the driveway. You're better off parking it on the road, because if something were to happen to that U-Haul, it's not your property. So your homeowner's insurance policy on the property wouldn't protect that U-Haul. You'd want to get the U-Haul insurance or something like that. I'm not an insurance guy. I'm not an attorney. This isn't legal advice. This isn't insurance advice. But the E&O policies, from what I've been made aware of, they don't even recommending early occupancy on properties in Oklahoma. So you want to schedule your timeline. You want to schedule your move-in, your movers, your utilities, all of that stuff. You want to schedule it to happen right after closing. That way you're not liable for the property. This is Oklahoma, guys. We do get hailstorms. We do get tornadoes. There is thunder and lightning here, guys. You could get a property hit by lightning the day before closing and it mess up the property. Oklahoma is a closing and funding state, and I just want you to be aware of that. I hope that makes sense, but no early occupancy, none of that stuff here in the state of Oklahoma. It's closing, comma, funding and possession. That's when you get the property. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. That was item number 5 that you need to be aware of when buying a property in the state of Oklahoma. Guys, if you find value in that video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up so that other home buyers moving to the state of Oklahoma can find value in it too. This video does not create a broker relationship. This video is not legal advice. It's not insurance advice or any of that stuff. I'm a real estate agent making an informative video for our buyers, for our customers, future customers just like you. We're getting calls, texts, and emails weekly from customers just like you who want to let us earn their business in helping them in their relocation to and move within the state of Oklahoma, and we'd love to earn your business too. Give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, and we'd be happy to help you with your relocation, moving to and moving within journey in the Oklahoma City metro area. And a side note, this video that's popping up right here, that video right there, that's more buyer information videos that you might like. Give it a click. It might be helpful too. See you guys on the next video.